okay? Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorenzo Canonico, and I was the Chief of Communications. And for all college application purposes, I was not the, but a captain of the Riverside High School speech and debate team. If there's one thing that I realized that I had to do after talking to Cheyenne, freaking out about her speech today, is that I had to pre-write my speech to make sure all the things that I was going to say were going to be G-rated. Not PG-rated, but G-rated. And that's why I wrote down all the different things that truly embody what speech and debate is about. But I realized that, you know, it has to come from the heart. You're right, Alex. Now, as Jinsu will be able to demonstrate in a little bit, it's actually a white blank sheet of paper. And I only do this because it adds dramatic effect to it. And the idea I got from a movie that Mr. Cook just obsesses over, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, like it's something probably made in the 20s, I don't know, it's like a Western. And Mr. Daessa always accuses me of sleeping through it, and that is not true because I remember that scene about the guy whose name I don't remember, trying to give a speech, but he throws it. Yeah, that scene. That I even said, it is a great honor and a privilege to speak on behalf of the senior class tonight, because it's been a fantastic journey and there is just so much to say. And unlike Neda, I don't get to speak at graduation. But because I don't get to speak at graduation, Mr. Daessa is not the one helping me write the speech. So I'm going to, in your honor, Mr. Daessa, I'm going to give you your favorite type of speech. We are the ones we have been waiting for type of speech. Because we as a senior class are part of what Time Magazine defined as the millennial generation that embodies the decadence of 21st century media culture. What I see in the speech and debate team is individuals that constitute together one of the most fascinating phenomenons of our generation. This beautiful aggregation of the brightest minds, people of our age. They're just so awesome. But because tonight's speech is not a speech about our senior class experience, but so much about the adventures that we've gone through our senior class, I would just do a quick timeline review of all the events that have happened this year. So let's begin with August. Like it's like late August, and you walk into Mr. Daessa's room, crying. And you just go there and like you're on your knees beseeching in this religious-like fashion, Mr. Daessa, dear scary brown man, will you write a recommendation letter for me? And to that the response is, oh, I will. You will never get to read it. It will be as good you will be this year as an officer. So then you got to start working hard, and like starting in September, you meet the novices. So then you meet Cheyenne, and you're like freaked out because she keeps staring at you. And when she walks towards you, she looks like a penguin. So that's even scarier. And then you see Devin. Where is Devin? Yeah, you look at his haircut, and you're like, somebody's bringing back Fonzie's from Happy Days. Then you meet JB, and he tells you about these girl problems. And then you meet Ashley, and she's one of the people that can relate to the most because we're both shy people, and we struggle talking in public, and we're introverted, and we don't engage in physical contact. So you meet those people, and you try to teach them lessons, so you go back through all the years that you competed throughout speech and debate and try to figure out exactly how do you do it, how do you win, how do you do it well, and then you realize you really don't win that often, so you probably don't actually know. And as you go through September and move on from the novice term and you get to like October, and it's all a blur for me, not for the reasons that you're all thinking, it's because I was in Italy, so I really was not present. So let's skip over November. Now, if you pass through November and you go to those tournaments and we actually start winning and it's going awesome. Some people argue it's because I came back. I would never say something like that in public, obviously. And then you get to December and you do the radio play and you see Mr. Cook and he's so excited. You try to share his excitement like when you're watching the bend the shot Liberty Balance. And then you get to one of the most interesting experiences of your senior year, college applications. So as you're trying to write all of those essays, you have Carrie sending his essays to you, and you try to read them and comment them, and he just disagrees with you, and he just keeps going. And then you have Suleiman, texting you, yo, this girl just Snapchatted me back, man. And then, you come out and you're like, yeah, man, I just don't want to try anymore. I'm just going to go play League now. And then you get a road, and he texts you, and he's like, man, like, you should stop trying, really. Just let it go and just stop caring. Very, 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 very motivating. And then you have Alex, who you don't get to talk to because he's working really hard and he ends up actually being successful in this process. But once college applications are over, Mr. Essa will give you, not that he gives you a break at any point in your life, but he kind of gave you a break over your senior year for college applications, but once that's over, he expects twice as much as effort, but you just realize, man, I just don't want to do it anymore because it's Christmas break, and then you get to Myers Park, and you meet the people that I personally love. American Heritage from Florida. My favorite school of all time. And it's that competitiveness that brings out the best in you once again. It is that competitiveness, it is the executive of environment, the high caliber of a tournament that you go to, that you try your hardest at beating everybody else at. Because you're a senior and it's your last year. That's how most tournaments are for us seniors, and they work. We just keep looking at them as the last chance to place at this tournament instead of looking at it as one of the few chances we have left to hang out with some of the people that have made high school worthwhile for us. And we just keep going, and then, we go to the state tournament, and we keep singing, "We Too Deep." I don't know what song that's from. I assume it's from, a Clemson thing, because Mary Carroll came up with it, and, she's a Clemson fan. And then, you go to districts, you compete, you try your best. The coaches tell you that they don't care. The state tournament is all that matters, and they're right. And you get there, and you try to say goodbye to so many people, because we have it at the same time as North Carolina. And these people that you have competed against, these people you have made fun of, these people you have trash talked in rounds and out of rounds. These people, whose ballots sometimes you want to read because you ask yourself, how do they even place? Do they even have any coaching? And you try to say goodbye. But it's just hard, because speech and debate is just this never-ending experience, because it's not so much about the competition, but it's about the intellectual exchange that you have when you engage with some of the brightest minds of our generation. It's about those friendships that you build that are mostly over Facebook or Snapchat if you're Suleiman, and you just keep those friendships going, and you talk to those people, and college admissions are coming out, and Keanu says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to USC, I'm kind of bummed." And then he looks at me, "Oh well, I'm still doing better than Lorenzo. I mean, at least I got it." Love you, Keanu. But I forgot that the thing that hunts those 3 months from January to March is it's the event that Mr. Lassa prepares for the rest of this, for every year. He just prepares for it because he just enjoys it so much. It's called prom. Because it's all about this indirect talking about, how do you feel about going with this person? Oh, well, there's this hotter sophomore I could take, or I could use that in some Oh, I fell in love with this underclassman. I think I'm going to take that person. Or, I finally decided to accept that our PDA is awkward, and I'm just going to, dignify a relationship by taking this other person to prom. So that consumes your senior year for some reason. And you realize that the people that you end up going at that event with are the people that you've spent most of your high school life with, the speech and debaters. And that's why it's just so hard to say goodbye, because it's just never over, because we made those friendships and they're just going to last. for what seems like forever. Although Matt is right, we're all gonna die, so they're not gonna last forever. By the way, I got that line from The Fault in Our Stars. You know, I read that book. I say this because one of my biggest struggles my senior year was to learn how to say goodbye, and I just, you know, did what I normally do, procrastinate, and just I pretended it did not exist. But that's my advice to the future classes. No matter how young you are, focus on those friendships and just never forget that those are the people that made the program worthwhile, and somehow find a way to tell those people how much they mean to you. Whether it's the coaches, whether it's your fellow classmates, your peers on this team, or whether it's people from other states. They will never be the state of Florida. Don't even engage with those people. They're ratchet. But find those people and find a way to say goodbye, because the time when you're forced to do it just comes when you least expect it. Thank you.